Hi there, and welcome back to Power Tongue. My name is Brady. We talk about magical stuff. We talk about this evolution through spirit and consciousness and what's happening in the world during this massive shift. And today I wanted to dive into something that a lot of people have been feeling lately, that I've been communicating with, and that's like what's going on with our dreams right now. Have your dreams been more vivid? Have your dreams been more emotionally charged? Have your dreams been more symbolic than usual, or even more surreal than usual? You might be experiencing what some people, especially those in this new age community, are calling a reactivation of the collective astral grid. Other people take that and they say that there's a planetary dreamscape that's coming back online that's being like rebooted, we'll say. But from the perspective of magic and studying different magical systems and seeing what's happening all around us, we're not just talking about a metaphor here. There's a actual tangible shift in the invisible structure of consciousness that is surrounding and moving through all of us. So when you realize that, when you realize the consciousness of everything, that there is stuff happening with everything, there's a consciousness flowing through this mug, there's a consciousness flowing through this pen, there is consciousness all around us, and it may not be visible to the eye, but through doing inner work and meditation and all these different practices that you incorporate into your path, you can become privy to what's really going on, privy to what's flowing through us. So let's together explore what this astral grid is, why it seems to be buzzing and just blowing up right now, and how we, as people that are energy workers or spiritual or psychics or whatever you want to call it, how we can navigate it with clarity, with magical integrity, with grounded awareness, and with from a responsible place. We want to be responsible and good stewards of these gifts we've been given. So first, what is this astral grid? Well, in New Agey terms, they define it like sort of a spiritual internet, something that links everyone who's dreaming together, something that links everyone journeying and doing magical or psychic work together. But let's go deeper than that. Let's look at the esoteric. Let's look at the magic. Let's frame it differently and say that this astral grid is a real part of a real spiritual architecture that governs the inner worlds. In this astral grid, there's energetic pathways and structures that connect our minds, that connect our hearts. We've spoke about that before. It's cardionosis, heart-to-heart communication, that connect our spirits together. It's all connected in oneness. We've talked about that too. That's law of one. But this astral grid is like a shared inner space that both magical practitioners, both dreamers, and people that accidentally stumble onto it can either unconsciously or consciously visit. There's temples, there's ruins, there's sacred landscapes, there's all these different magical destinations in this astral grid. And you can visit it through deep meditation, through deep focus, through magic work, through whatever. But you need to understand that there are people accidentally visiting this right now. And they might be scared and they might be nervous. And if that's you, you might be scared and nervous. But know that this is a part of something big, some big magical thing that's happening on the earth right now. So to summarize this, like the astral grid is like an undercurrent that makes up the collective unconscious, but with intelligence and spiritual hierarchy built in. It's not just like this cesspool of thought forms and that, like some people say there's no meaning to it. You need to understand from the perspective of the path that I've been going down, it's the divine inner, it's the realm of spiritual truth, it's the realm of training, the realm of initiation. It's where we do so much work. And it's also broken systems, decaying or corrupted parts of the astral that bleed into dream space when our boundaries aren't clear. So what I'm trying to say about the astral grid is this is not just normal dreamscapes. This is not just the normal dream realm. This is a separate realm, but when the boundaries between the dream realm and the astral grid are not clear, they can mix and match. People can spill into these other realms from these other realms, and it scares the living shit out of people. It really does. So that's why I wanted to make it very clear that boundaries need to be set. So why now? Like, what's happening right now in the world? Well, the grid is stirring. There's no doubt about that. Why? There's different ways of articulating that. Some people are talking about this planetary frequency shift, the Earth going through energetic changes. Well, we've spoke about that. Massive energetic differences in the Schumann resonance and solar flare activity and metaphysical teachings, like what I teach on this channel about new earth consciousness. Heaven now. We are in heaven. It's overlapping with our current reality. The kingdom of God is here. Yeshua's whole message while he was on earth. And when these massive changes take place, these massive energetic changes, what happens is our bodies respond. Obviously, our bodies cannot just be indifferent to all this energy flowing through us. And in these moments, dreaming becomes more active because it's the safest space for our soul to process and achieve without resistance from the ego. If you were to try to align yourself with these planetary shifts in the physical, natural realm, your ego would block that because your ego seeks to destroy this spiritual evolution. But if it uses the dream realm, it's able to bypass the ego because ego doesn't traverse in dreams. And in doing so, you can spiritually evolve, you can polarize, you can do whatever it is you're trying to do. Aside from these planetary shifts that are taking place, there's also old spiritual systems that collapsed. There's broken temples, there's toxic egregores, there's failed group thought forms. And these patterns, they were once on Earth in the physical, they got fucked up. Now they may spill into the dream world. They still exist in the dream world. That's why, for example, like a lot of people have dreams about like slavery and being enslaved and things like that. Slavery was a very toxic system that existed on Earth, and it's pretty much been wiped out. It's been wiped out in the Western world, but it still exists in the dreamscape because these toxic ideas are eternal. They live on. But in the dreamscape, we have more control to protect ourselves from it. That's all I want to say about that, is that, magic workers and people that are sensitive to magic, sensitive to energy, they may be unconsciously drawn into these zones to be the light beings, to be the workers that are going to help repair, cleanse, or bear witness to the decaying of these toxic ideals. So sometimes if you be pulled into a dream that is of these really toxic and evil things, it's for a reason. You're there to bring light. You know what happens when you light in the darkness? What happens? The darkness dies. Darkness cannot withstand itself against you. And you are a phoenix. You are a bright, shining light exploding with love and light and positivity and all these things. And when you are pulled into a dark space, darkness bows before you. That is what magic is for love, for light, for hope. It's not for these like dark shit that people are doing with it. So you need to understand that. There's also a worldwide increase in magical and psychic abilities. There's no doubt about it. Have you listened to the telepathy tapes? Super cool podcast. I've plugged it a few times on this channel because it is really awesome. But in general, more people are meditating, more people are journeying, more people are doing plant medicine, more people are working with tarot, more people are working with energy, and all this inner activity, it does something. It really does something. It stirs up traffic in the astral realm. The astral realm is like a freeway, and there's so much traffic on it, right? But these days, the traffic is fucking blowing up. There's way more than the last few decades. We're getting back to like the old ways where magic was a regular part of life, and it's a beautiful thing to be on Earth witnessing right now. I can tell you that. And we've also got a whole lot of unresolved collective emotions. There's grief from the pandemic we just made it through. There's massive political polarization. There's ecological dread. There's heavy emotional waves that don't disappear. And when they don't disappear, they have to go somewhere. They seep into the astral when they're not processed. So your dreams might be carrying the weight of collective emotions that are not even yours. Things that didn't even hurt you may be hurting you in the astral because they're a part of this collective field. So, what does it look like to have these dreams? Well, you might be having dreams that feel epic or cinematic. You might find yourself in temples, in deserts, in glowing libraries, long stairwells, liminal spaces, stuff like that. You might have encounters with non-human beings that feel, they're not scary, but they also don't feel safe. They're just deeply other than us. They are other. You might see symbolic or initiatory themes, falling, dying, being reborn, opening books, taking tests. I've seen a lot of death in my dreams lately. And these are themes of initiation. They don't necessarily mean there's a real physical death coming. It's a rebirth and death archetype that is continuously taking place in the physical, in the spiritual, in the astral, everywhere. You might be seeing recurring locations or people you don't know in waking life, but you do feel spiritually connected to. And you might be experiencing dreams that leave you with a heavy body, emotional release, or moments of profound clarity. Revelation through the dreamscape. The reality is, many of these dreams are not dreams at all. They are inner world encounters. They might take place in your divine inner, which is a sacred space, a sacred level of consciousness that is aligned with the divine will. That's what we're all seeking to work with when we do magic in the inner worlds. And they might be in the astral soup, where fragments, random fragments and broken systems swirl around until they are cleared or restructured. Like swirling around a toilet, there is just bullshit going around that will eventually be flushed from the system. So there's ways we can work with this grid safely. When you're going through this shit, a lot of people are right now. There are some practices, and a lot of this is stuff I've learned from Josephine McCarthy's Quaria work. Basic magical hygiene, things that can help us navigate this. Before you go to sleep, it's important to set a clear intention. So Christianity has their way of like saying prayers, whatever. Different practices have different ways of doing this. But one way you can do it, which is very beneficial, is to close your field, right? Your field is open for beings and energies and spirits and all that to weave through you freely if you don't close it. So either in your heart or out loud, whatever you prefer, say this. Say, I align myself with the divine inner. May I receive only what is in rightness and truth. Okay, so avoid vague invitations like take me wherever. You need to be precise and protective. So be precise that you only align with rightness and truth. What is for you? And let your higher self, let God, let whatever you want to ascribe this massive being of oneness and consciousness to filter out and be careful what it sends you, right? Build containment. Before bed, mentally seal your room in a sphere of light or elemental guardianship. There's different ways of doing this. You'll need to read different grimoires or magical texts to learn this, but black salt, cedar, or even a circle of breath to define this space. There's sounds, there's scents, there's all different things that can protect you from negative energy. In the morning, it's important to do a debrief, do a discernment. As soon as you wake up, ask yourself, if you had a dream, like, did your dream carry spiritual weight? Was your dream distorted? Was it chaotic? Was it healing? What was it? Write it down. Journal all this. It's very important on a spiritual path to be journaling, because years from now, you'll be going back to that and using that to learn and evolve even more. Does it feel like that dream came to you? Does it feel like it came from something? Does it feel like it came through you? Go beyond words when you're journaling this. Draw the symbols. Track your emotions. That's important. Sometimes when I'm journaling on my magical path, I'm not even writing like my thoughts and feelings. I'm just writing basic emotions. Scared, sad, hurt, happy, laugh. Things like this. Write that down, because that will linger it on in your practice and allow you to study more from that. And disengage yourself from this astral sludge, from this astral soup. If a dream leaves you anxious, confused, or drained, spiritually feeling, it could be leftover junk from the unconscious, broken egregores looking to feed off your life energy, dream fragments, parasites, whatever. Disengage completely with that. Ground, cleanse yourself, reconnect the divine. Don't analyze everything to death. Sometimes it helps if you had like a little jar. I don't have one around. A little jar, and you fill it like 3/4 full with salt and 1/4 full with water, and put that in your bedroom where you sleep. That will actually absorb negative energy that makes its way into your bedroom. And then when it dries, you can top it up with more water a few times and let it continue the work, but eventually it needs to be discarded. Do not get any of that salt on your hands or anything when you're throwing it out. It is very, very dangerous stuff, because it's like condensed negative energy. And that's not anything I created. That's Josephine McCarthy talks about that in Query. I think it's a feng shui trick, saltwater cure, but all in all, that is helpful in the bedroom, I've found. Also, playing music. If you play music when you sleep, be very mindful of the music that you're playing. There's a lot of energy with music, so there's a lot of powerful stuff that can actually be very helpful to you. Like, I have a whole playlist. It's got like classical nocturnes, it's got like Tibetan chanting and choral singing, usually anything that doesn't use any electric implements to add to the music. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm talking about music for making you feel better. Music for helping you energetically. Just recognize that these things happening are a part of something big happening, right? There's a pull into collective inner temple work. Your souls are working together on inner levels, a call to remember your spiritual agreements, meeting with others in dream spaces. Just know that you can set boundaries, you can align with the divine, and there's some crazy stuff going on right now in the dream realm. You're not alone. This is a real thing, and we're going to continue to unpack it here on Power Tongue. So subscribe if you like this video. Thank you for watching. I know this was kind of random and kind of all over the place. I just wanted to make contact again. It's been so long. I've been so very busy studying and working on my own practice, and I hope you have been too. So all in all, stay grounded, stay curious, enjoy the work, enjoy the path. I'll see you in the dreamscape, I suppose. I'd love to hear about whatever path you're on. So let's chat. PowerTongue, powertongue.net. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.